unbeaten in the league so far this season. Their only defeat, that one in Juventus. They haven't conceded in 536 minutes of football in all competitions. Terrific record. They had the best away record last season, won 10 of their 19 games. They've got the best away record again this season. Conceded just 1 goal from the 4 played. That one at Derby County. Cantona's got 4, Solskjaer's got 4, Beckham has got 3. Newcastle lead the way in the Fair Play League. Manchester United a joint second with Wimbledon. Last 3 league games. Drew with Villa 0-0, beat Tottenham 2-0, and they beat Liverpool by a goal to 0. This one today is a match that Alex Ferguson's been looking forward to all week.
It's an important game. It's going to be an entertaining game, but also it's a game which big players will want to play in, and I think our players are looking forward to it. Obviously, you've got to defend, and if you defend right, then you win games. There's no question about that.
So is it a case of being patient or resolute? What's the sort of key for taking on Newcastle in their own backyard?
Well, I mean, Newcastle will have a say in it too. I mean, a game with 2 such good sides, then you're never going to get your own way all the time. As applies to both sides. But obviously, that's in a game of this stature, then we hope our good players perform and we can give the threat that wins the games.
Does the Charity Shield result have any bearing at all on this meeting, do you feel?
Well, for Newcastle, they'll be well stoked up for it, so we can expect a real hard game. That's gone by. It doesn't matter what's happened 2 or 3 months ago, really. For obviously the Newcastle at home and the tremendous fans they have, they're going to be really up for it, but that's something we have to handle.
So it's a day for big players. It's a day then, presumably, Steve, for Eric Cantona.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was fortunate enough to play with him for a good few years. He's, on big occasions, I've always said to you, he's always been the one. If you look at cup finals and semi-finals and big league games, the title last year where he gets us the 6 goals in the 6 games to win us the games, he's just an incredible talent. And for the big games, he always seems to be the one that produces.
He was pretty harsh on himself after the win over Liverpool last week, but does that matter to Manchester United? If he's out there, is that what's important?
Well, I think they would obviously like him to be playing the way we all know Eric can play. I mean, last week he said that he's probably the worst he's played for a long, long time. So he responds by playing really well in midweek in Europe. But today, he just, by the look of him there, he looks up for it. You know, he wouldn't be surprised if he gets the winner again.
Eric Cantona of Manchester United, of course. Now then, David May there, just wandering through the picture. Kenny, took a while to settle when he went to Old Trafford. Has he finally come of age, do you think?
Well, I think obviously he's settled at the moment. He solved a problem for Fergie. With Steve leaving, he stepped in there and filled in. He's also bought Johnson, who's adaptable, can play a little bit in the middle of the park. But David May did very well for Blackburn, and as I say, I think Fergie saw it as double-edged. I think he was impressed with David as a player, but I think also at the time he thought, well, it might weaken Blackburn a little bit. Maybe he won the championship that year, so I don't know who was right and who was wrong. But he's a good player. He's very good defensively. And as I say, he's started to settle down and play well. He had a good game in midweek in Europe also, which would be important for him.
You're pleased for him, Steve, aren't you?
Yeah, he's supposed to be United's best player in the last...
replace you, but...
Yeah, it took him a little while to settle. And to be fair to him, he played full-back for a little while and he wasn't quite happy there. But since he's played in the centre of the defence, he's done really well. In the last 2 games, in big games, he's possibly been United's best player.
Quick word, where's it going today? Where's the points going?
Well, I'm in Newcastle here and I've got to think of the family, haven't I? So I would be tempted to sit on the fence, but I just think Manchester have just got something over them, and I'll go again with my mates from Manchester.
Kenny?
Well, I've all sat on the fence, I'll go for it as well.
You're definitely going home, no question about that, no problems. Newcastle United against Manchester United, which is always something to shout about. That's the prize, which has been Manchester United's in 3 of the 4 seasons so far. Blackburn, of course, have won it. Newcastle United are desperate to win it. Desperate to win it. Last season ended in tears. They believe this might be their year. Newcastle United against Manchester United today. Our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Richard, we're just coming to terms with the Newcastle team because it's the first time that these 11 have been put out together since they started the Charity Shield. Now, Andy, that may be total coincidence, but maybe a little bit of deliberation saying, well, you messed it up last time. This is just your chance to go and prove you're a good player.
Well, that surprised me, but I wonder if it surprised Kevin if he told him. I don't even know, possibly, if Kevin realises that is the side he's picked, the one that lost so embarrassingly, you have to say, on Charity Shield Day. But if it is, and if the lads realise that themselves, what a great stage and what a great time to go and put the record books right.
Let's have a look at that side for you. Newcastle do feel that their recent defensive frailties are more down to individual errors rather than a basic team weakness. So the only change from the Ferencváros match is in midfield with David Ginola back for Keith Gillespie.
And of course that does give them the extra width on this left-hand side. We'll yet wait and see whether Rob Lee tucks in a bit, Batty tucks into the central area, and that might just allow Peter Beardsley to get forward alongside Shearer, alongside Ferdinand. I think if that does happen, the one thing they have to be careful about is that Lee doesn't get ahead of the ball too early, Beardsley as well, and Ginola as well, because if that happens, then we know this Manchester United side are brilliant at counter-attacking. So they're going to have to be a little bit careful about that. We know what we'll get from the front too.
Well, for Manchester United, it's Karol Poborski for Jordi Cruyff. Ryan Giggs still unfit. Still no Roy Keane, but he was due to train in Manchester this morning, and he's definitely in line for the midweek Coca-Cola Cup tie against Swindon. Phil Neville is available again after ankle surgery, and he's amongst the substitutes.
Well, along with Steve Bruce, he was man of the match in this fixture last year. I wonder how big a part he'll have to play today. I'm sure he'll have some work to do if Manchester United are going to win. But I think they'll defend deep, very similar to the way they did against Liverpool. The back four, I'm sure, will drop off, not leave too much grass behind them, because Shearer and Ferdinand need no encouragement to drive in behind defences. I think ahead of that, they'll tuck in Beckham, Johnson and Butt into that kind of area. Nice and tight in the midfield, nice tight unit. A front line of defence. Poborski, we have him on the left here, but I think they'll say to him, if you get some joy, stay there. If you don't, then feel free to go and try the right-hand side. I don't think they'll commit him just one side or the other. Again, Cantona, no matter how quiet he was, as he was in this fixture last year for 50 minutes, he pops up with a winning goal.
So memories of last March come flooding back, unhappy memories for those Newcastle fans, I'm sure. Manchester United, who arrived without Gary Pallister. That was a big shock then, you might recall. Although Pallister is fit and able to play today. They should have been swept aside in a frenetic first 20 minutes. But they left here with the points, the only team to do that last season. And I think it's fair to say, Andy, that after that night, Newcastle were never quite the same again.
Yeah, we were talking in the studio before we went here. Did that night win the title for Manchester United? I don't think it actually won it, but mentally it was a huge blow, I think. Psychologically, a huge blow for Kevin's side to have put so much into a football match. And Kevin, as we talked to him before the game just, he was saying they could have been 3 or 4 up at half-time. And no one could have argued, and he's absolutely right. So psychologically, I think that was a huge blow to them, and they didn't quite recover from that.
They still had 10 league games to play after that.
I know, and you would think they could get over it, but you know, when you're vying with the teams at the top and your greatest rivals for the championship that you come and do what Manchester United did to them that night, it does take some recovering from.
Well, there's no titles going to be decided this early in the season, but you do feel that Newcastle maybe for themselves need to get maximum points from one of these really big games, and they certainly feel that they owe today's opponents one. The game's going to be played in quite treacherous conditions in terms of the heavy rain that's been falling for the last 4 hours. The referee, Steve Dunn, has checked the pitch a few times. There's never been any danger of postponement, but he's asked for a few puddles that were developing to be dealt with by the ground staff. They're still out there. And also those lines have been marked again, but even with the rain coming as it is, there you are, still right up to kick-off.
but I think this adds to it, man. We talk about the talent that's in show today, and there's no doubt there's huge talent on both sides.
There you are.
Add to that the conditions. Players maybe slipping at crucial times, defenders having great difficulty dealing with balls fed across the box, goalkeepers unsure of their handling. Everything's here for excitement and entertainment.
Well, Manchester United's undefeated record in the Premiership certainly on the line, but they've come back from Turkey in great heart, with the scalp of Liverpool still fresh on their belts, of course, as well. They're surely in splendid shape for another mighty match. But Newcastle know even a draw will put them top of the table tonight. They do have some old scores to settle here. It's Newcastle United against Manchester United. Live for you all after the break.
I'm gonna set up on my own. Right click, set up on my own. I need some help to see me through. I need some help to see me through. I need some help to see me through. I need some help to see me through.
The body is new. The body is power. The body is strong. The body is.
If you think that's strong, Chuck, try lifting one of these. Hey, Tarquil, your trolleys aren't right way round.
New Manchester Gold from Boddington's.
Laundry to wash? Then save your pennies by taking it into a second-hand shop. They'll do all the dirty work for you. Then, hey presto, you can buy it all back for next to nothing. This money-saving tip was brought to you by McDonald's, where 6 chicken McNuggets, medium fries and a medium soft drink will cost you just £2.88.
Mum and Dad are back.
Oh, yeah. Peugeot, the drive of your life.
Prince Nassim will be strutting his stuff
I walk through fear.
all the way to Judgment Night.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
3 world titles live on Sky Sports 2, including Prince Nassim against top Argentinian champion Molina.
Get ready for Judgment Night.
Then, live from Las Vegas on Sky Box Office, the pay-per-view event, Judgment Night Part 2. 3 world heavyweight titles on the line. Judgment Night is coming.
Sky subscribers can see Part 2 of Judgment Night, featuring 3 world heavyweight title fights live from Las Vegas by ordering now on 0990 800 800. Book early to receive a £5 discount. Cable viewers order through your local operator. Sky Sports with Ford takes you to the heart of the action. Newcastle United versus Manchester United live. Ford Super Sunday.
And we're ready to go with Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. The mathematics of today, simplified by the postponement of the Merseyside derby, absolutely clear that the winners of this game will be top of the tree tonight. A draw, as I say, good enough to take Newcastle there. And Manchester United defending the end that they survived in the first half last March, survived by the skin of their teeth, by the fingernails of Peter Schmeichel, who's been such a barrier to Newcastle's hopes in recent meetings, not just that game.
Yeah, I think Kevin would be looking for the same sort of start on that night, Mark. Quite fast, furious, push Manchester United back, and this time, perhaps they might get the break.
But Jaworski starting on the left. And for Solskjaer to chase, guided forward by his fellow countryman, Ronnie Johnson. Newcastle have, to use their own words, been grinding out some results, particularly in away games that have got them over the potential psychological difficulties of that walloping at Wembley in the Charity Shield. Remember, they made a bad start to the league campaign with a couple of defeats in the first 3 games. Cantona, well, Srnicek, after his adventure in Hungary off his line, must have wondered whether that was all going to work out well for him.
That one was difficult to deal with today. Mentioned the way it skipped off the surface, it did there. Full marks to him, though, he kept his eye on it that time.
Batty. Pallister goes in, Batty's there again, Pallister's there again. Well, the players respond to atmosphere. This will be magnificent because that's the feeling that the crowd are creating at the moment. Pallister hasn't the best of passes to Butt, and here come Newcastle.
That was a little sloppy from Gary Pallister.
Beckham. Knocked away by Watson. That really could have gone any which way, but it fell well for Newcastle to bat it. But pressing the recalled Ginola. You might have heard Kevin Keegan say that Keith Gillespie was very unlucky to be left out in preference for Ginola. Here's Ferdinand. Coming out of play.
That's something to look for, Martin. We know the power of Ferdinand and Shearer in there. Now, May and Pallister, I think, will be... Yeah, they'd go up against them. They'd be quite comfortable. They could deal with it. But I'm not so sure both fullbacks would be that good in there. And I just wonder at times we'll see that diagonal from right to left and left to right for Ferdinand or Shearer pulling on one of the fullbacks.
Ferdinand just teasing it in for Rob Lee. Behind Shearer, and his old club colleague at Blackburn, David May, scraped it away. And Schmeichel really had to reach up for that one.
Great take. Nothing's easy today for goalkeepers.
Newcastle, as you'd expect, looking for a fast tempo and trying to shape the game their way. Trying to do something that is not managed before since the start of the Premier League, and that is to beat Manchester United.
This is encouraging for Newcastle in respect that Ginola at least is looking, if he's just going to get half a yard, he's going to look to deliver it.
Jaworski with an international colleague to try and beat in the Newcastle goal, the two from the Czech Republic. Srnicek has regained his international place since Euro '96. He was worried today about whether he was going to keep his club place. There he is, unchallenged. He was, of course, dropped after the Charity Shield, but got back pretty quickly. Johnson. Ginola. The referee's going to have to make some allowances for the conditions here, but I don't think wet or dry.
Yeah, I think a quick word with Nicky Butt. I think he'd have let it go, but it's Nicky Butt's third or fourth free kick that he's given away in the opening 5 minutes of the match. And I think that's why I just had a little mention. I mean, we saw that competitive spirit so much in evidence last week from Nicky Butt at Old Trafford against Liverpool.
Beardsley to Batty with a short free kick. Beardsley again. Newcastle have got 4 in the middle. Manchester United have got Cantona helping out at the back. Johnson. Blocks from Batty. Poborski really running into some traffic. That's another free kick to Newcastle. Awarded by the referee from Bristol, Steve Dunn. Shearer, who explores this part of the pitch so cleverly.
Wines was given a free kick. Referee was happy to give a corner, I think. Wines' flag was up very quickly. He doesn't Shearer use defenders so well. I mean, he backs into them, and he used it. And he just turned Dennis Irwin. You see a little nudge there.
Beardsley takes. And there's a spectacular attempt from Ginola.
Good effort. Difficult skill. When Beardsley thinking, he doesn't just toss this in aimlessly. He spots Ginola at the edge of the box. French is good enough to make contact and hit the target from there, but just get underneath it slightly.
Well, Kevin Keegan has been trumpeting the Newcastle attitude today, as you'd expect. You always want to measure yourself against the best. He says, our aim is to become the very best. Beresford picking out Shearer. It's who makes the runs to the left between Shearer and Ferdinand that possibly needed the sorting out early on in their pairing up front. And both for Love going down right of centre. Owen, Shearer just a bit slow to pick himself up, but he's back on his feet now. And Srnicek is off on another gallop out of the penalty area, and he's done the job very effectively. Shearer is by some distance offside.
Held the line really well. David May and company.
He's calling to the bench for some sort of strapping, I think, Alan Shearer. After that earlier knock. Lee. Another time he's having. Man who as a boy dreamt about wearing the Newcastle number 9 shirt. It's taken a while to come his way. It's cost Newcastle a lot of money to get him here. But already there are rewards are developing for the club, and a winning goal today would, even at this early stage, really say so much about the investment, and in he goes here. Cantona helping out again. Pallister, a lot of red shirts around where the ball was dropping. And only Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to chase up front. Beresford. Ginola. Beckham trying the back heel, a measure of his current confidence. Pallister. Poborski. Johnson. Haven't seen too much from Manchester United in attack as yet. Cantona. Solskjaer sliding in. Beckham was able to get to it. Ronnie Johnson arriving. Not quite quickly enough. Poborski. Neville. Well, 100 to 1 odds. That nearly came up if anyone had been brave enough to take it.
Well, we haven't seen much of them. You're right, it's an attacking force, but this was just a little warning. Just before this, Beckham had played a lovely little ball into the area, just short in number. But I think that there shows that they're not going to be shy and get forward. Gary Neville quite prepared to get up around the edge of the box when they've got possession.
Beresford. Bounced away off Ferdinand for David May to collect, and Joel with a bit of time, and now the flag's up against Solskjaer. Phil Joslin, like all of us, enjoying the occasion. Batting. Can't come off with Shearer. Poborski. Johnson. Newcastle holding the line. Andy, where do you just stand on this Newcastle debate? Individual mistakes, or are they still tactically not balanced properly defensively?
No, I think there's work to be done. I mean, I don't think they're bad defenders. I think the school of thought says they can't defend the wrong one. I think there have been an awful lot of individual errors, and as a manager, that's one thing that you really can't do much about yourself.
It's an individual error from Nicky Butler for Manchester United, presenting Ginola in particular with possession, and Newcastle maybe with an advantage here.
But I do think, sorry Matt, I do think when you get into games like this in the past, I think that's where they've been found out. I think there are some times you have to go into games and you have to prepare for them, especially like Alex did last week against Liverpool. That was a different sort of Manchester United we saw at Old Trafford. Sometimes you have to do that.
Beckham. Here's Peacock. Well, there was a time when it was often said about Manchester United that they could only play a certain way, but Alex Ferguson has developed the tactical flexibility within his talented squad. We might see signs of that again in this match, as they're under pressure here from the powerful running of Ginola. The shot from Ferdinand, and a deflection that would have left Schmeichel flat-footed, but it's gone wide.
Well, he didn't move, Peter Schmeichel. It's a great block from Dennis Irwin in the end. Ginola did everything right. Really good block. The keeper's beaten. You don't often see Peter Schmeichel just stand there.
That's Shearer going up well. Peacock! The goal is given, and Manchester United are very angry about it.
I'd like to see that one again. I thought Irwin got there, Martin, I have to be honest. The linesman's got the best view in the ground, no doubt about that.
So you can see that Schmeichel has come across to lead the debate.
We'll get a look at it from here. Shearer wins the first header, Peacock the second, as it drops. Well, I don't think that's over. I think it's impossible for the linesman to give 100% from where he's standing. With Dennis Irwin's left foot where it is, that's over the line. It's an awful harsh decision. It's a big decision, a game like this.
And very, very mixed emotions there. Kevin Keegan saw the signal. And Alex Ferguson has to take it on the chin. Peacock knocked it goalwards. Albert was in front of him trying to get out of the way.
Funny, I was thinking just before that, Martin, about the options they have at corners, Newcastle, with Peacock and Albert joining Ferdinand and Shearer. They really have four good options to aim at. And I think Alex Ferguson was more concerned with the fact that 2 free headers basically were allowed to, well, develop in the middle of the 6-yard box. Certainly Peacock standing totally free. But it's a big decision. Certainly live in the game now.
Cantona comes Manchester United's way with Johnson. Poborski. Cantona blocked by Beresford. And It's a goal kick. But when you think, Andy, that these two great Uniteds have met 3 times in the last 10 months, and Newcastle, who score goals for fun against anyone else, haven't scored in any of those 3 games. Well, they needed a break, and you feel that they've got one here.
The reason this is a difficult call, I feel, for the linesman, Mark, as you watch Dennis Irwin's left foot, I think that totally matched anything. That's a tough call. For him to say that ball has completely crossed the line is a really, really tough call. I mean, even you and I looking at that now, it's hard to call that 100%. And I think that you have to be 100% to make those sort of decisions.
Shearer. That was Ginola, who's popping up in all sorts of positions away from the left-hand side, which is his base at times, although Beardsley's outside him at the moment. Now Beardsley just beckoning him back.
Well, maybe Kevin will feel that's evening up a bit after the 45 minutes here in March, when they did everything. Didn't enjoy the best of luck, but Peter Schmeichel certainly was in fine form. We might be saying now, well, we've deserved that.
Well, much is being suggested about television's part in adjudicating in matters of fact on decisions such as the one we've just seen. That was not just a tough call for the linesman, it was for the cameramen as well.
For the neutrals, it's brilliant. You get a big game like this, the one thing you want is a goal in the opening 20 minutes.
Pawłowski. Players over for Manchester United here.
You see, that's what I don't think David Ginola can just stand and let Gary Neville go forward like that.
And here's the other side of that. Of course, he, in a way that sometimes pros call cheating, by not accepting your defensive responsibilities. Maybe he's got the licence from his coaches to do that. But he gets the ball and Gary Neville's 40, 50 yards away from the play. Well, it's a major, major incident in a major, major match. Peter Schmeichel continued his complaints to the extent that he got the yellow card. Solskjaer, as the crowd were bellowing for handball, off the chest of Jonsson. Lee. Ginola. Mixing up their play nicely at times, Newcastle. Ferdinand, who was looking along the line, and... oh, well. It's Mike Ryan, the man on this near touchline, who's the centre of attention again, as he was on the goal. Beckham. Oh, by Beardsley on Butt, free kick to Manchester United. Cantona not placing the ball correctly. He was thinking about a quick shot.
Well, they just need to roll it to Gary Neville, who's got about 20, 30 yards on that right side. If they want somebody just to control it and deliver it into the box from a pretty good angle. Although Beckham or Cantona might well fancy a strike.
Looking, assessing, changing his approach, but definitely taking. And, well, it always appeared to be going too high.
Well, I don't know, I've often said about goalkeepers, the reactions tell a story. You watch the goalkeeper, he's worried. Suddenly check scrambling across, crashing into the side net. I don't expect Manchester United to be too worried. It's not the first time this season early on that they've gone down in a football match.
Not worried, but aggrieved. Beckham. Good tackling going on in the wet, although Ginola has felt the force of one. Steve Dunn with his hands behind his back, supervising it all.
He started quite positively, Gary Ginola, as well.
Pleased to be back. Left down to the last two.
Nothing like a bit of competition to make you try that little bit harder.
Keith Gillespie has had a spot of neck trouble. He's had a 24-hour bug as well, but certainly fit enough to be chosen amongst the substitutes against his old club. Bit of a buffeting on Shearer. There's a message from the referee. Solskjaer.
That's unlucky. A better take from Johnson from the little flick. Would have given Albert a problem or two.
Neville. That's it back from Beckham. Solskjaer trying to get in behind Albert, had the ball got there. Now with Cantona. Jaworski coming in from the left. Into his good right foot. Trying to find the angle for the shot. Newcastle determined not to allow a clear-sighted Sanichek's goal.
What a pass that was from Beckham to Cantona. As it dropped at Beckham, he didn't have. Fizz it beautifully straight back to him.
So Jaworski will take the corner. Bit of push and shove going on there with Shearer and Cantona. Beckham, his sort of territory.
Oh, well done, Albert. With the defender, someone's got to put pressure on at the edge of the box. Sometimes everyone stands and waits for people. But Philippe Albert didn't hang about. As Beckham brought it down, he's first to arrive. Throw himself in front of it. Well, we've had a look at that goal. We can look at it more closely now and see if we're any nearer. Again, you see the two. Shearer does ever so well there. Peacock's header's half blocked, and as it's rolling, it's rolling. Oh dear. It looks over, doesn't it?
That's there.
Good spot,
Here comes Lee. Ginola. Back in from Batty. Jaworski, only one man to try and find up front. Cantona saying don't play that percentage ball unless you have to. Numbers in midfield closer. Ginola.
Well, nothing wrong with that. If you win the ball, perfectly entitled to come down. Take him through there, as long as you're taking the ball and the referee thinks it's fair. It's risky.
This time it's Neville appealing that he was being fouled as he went for the ball again. Head height that time. Beardsley. Watson. Ferdinand trying to get in behind Pallister. Both eyes firmly on the ball. But a goal for Darren Peacock. So Newcastle at least overcome one recent hoodoo. They've scored against Manchester United. Just, you might say. Albert certainly had a good view of the proceedings. so clear, I'm sure, from Kevin Keegan's vantage point, but he was delighted to accept the outcome. Poborski. Owen's cross, and Manchester United, well, they'll need to get more players forward now.
This is what the risk though, Manchester United at the back, Mark. They've got 2 against 2. Shearer and Ferdinand with Pallister and May. That's risky with those two. You put an awful lot of faith in your 2 centre-backs.
Solskjaer's onside, played on by Steve Watson. Oh. Neville, in behind Darren Peacock, and it's Poborski who's popped up in the centre, and well, one player from the Czech Republic in contact with another, and Poborski doesn't get the penalty that he believes he deserves.
I thought he went looking for it a bit too much myself. There's no doubt he got to the ball and played it past the goalkeeper, but he made rather a lot of it. I think that might have influenced the referee.
Poborski's cross was also unproductive. Let's have another look at it. The penalty incident, that is.
Well, it's the conditions again. Spins away, they get a little bit of confusion. The goalkeeper goes to the ground. You see the left, but look what he makes of it. I think that might well have influenced the referee. Well, he thought it was. Going Newcastle's way so far. I think we've seen 2 decisions already in the opening 26 minutes. It could have gone either way.
Beresford. And trapped offside again. Well, Alex Ferguson and Kevin Keegan spent much of last season trying to hoodwink each other through their teams on the pitch, but at times also their own comments off it. Occasionally you felt it was in danger of becoming personal, but mostly it was the natural consequences of vigorously pursuing the same prize. Poborski. Peacock doing well again.
Well, he had a chance, Poborski, to feed it in earlier. I thought he gave Peacock a chance by taking a touch on the ball and running it towards him.
Solskjaer. Lovely helping out Watson. Ginola. Immediately Beresford was darting off. It wasn't a good pass. Johnson. Steered off well by Shearer to Ginola. Attacking David May. And there, Ferdinand and Shearer did both seem to be trying to make the same sort of run. Neither of them able to be picked out by the Frenchman. Poborski. Well picked out by Beckett. Johnson. Neville. Well, it's never a formality with a greasy ball, but Manchester United weren't moving in to try in any way to distract Pavel Srnicek.
I think they were all disappointed, including Gary Neville with the cross. They worked the position really well from one side to the other and got him again in acres of space.
Batty. Shearer. Now Lee. Shearer goes near post. Ferdinand behind him. Pallister with a little bit of juggling and then the clearance that was sufficient. It's been given back to Newcastle by Beckham to Beresford. Shearer just complaining about the type of service then.
It's been a good half hour, full of incident. Ginola has been prominent in it, and that is very prominent indeed. It's a classic goal from David Ginola. It's 2-0 to Newcastle. What a magnificent strike. Sheer quality, sheer class. The way it's played into him. I think Gary Neville's a little bit on the wrong side. In fact, he is. He's a bit outside Ginola. You could see the way he was just holding his, he could feel it. He immediately turned inside. He didn't look at the goal. He doesn't need to. They don't move. He sets it off at this side. It's past Peter Schmeichel. It's arcing into the top corner. It's a wonderful goal. And there's absolutely no doubt this time.
And there's the manager who brought him back into the team today. Ginola's first goal since he got one in the 4-3 at Anfield. And absolutely no doubt about that goal.
He's been involved well, though, hasn't it, in the opening half hour? He's looked hungry. He's looked like he's been out for a couple of weeks.
And the majority of his goals in English football, maybe all of them, in fact, have come with his right foot.
Well, he does give you problems. He's good on either side, Mark, but I just couldn't help thinking that they're looking for David May here. I just can't help thinking that Gary Neville made his mind up by being on his outside rather than the inside, maybe saying, go wide. If you're going to go somewhere, go wide. Less danger. But he made his mind up, I think, with being too tight and too much on the wrong side, that Ginola was coming inside and letting go.
The booking for May, the free kick for Beresford. That was Albert challenging.
Well, I know they want to win, Martin, desperately after what happened in the Charity Shield. I just wonder if we get thoughts now of maybe reversing that score. There you go, look how much space Gary Neville's given him, Martin, and from there, that is absolute class. Take a bow, son. Wonderful.
Yes, just to remind you again, it's exactly the same Newcastle side that played in the Charity Shield, that started the Charity Shield, and they haven't played together as an 11 since then until today. Very different story to tell to this point. And they're doing their best to raise the roofs off the stands here with the noise. That means so much to all connected with Newcastle United. Manchester United, who have already this season picked themselves up from positions when they've been behind. But their unbeaten Premiership record, the last in this season's league, is very, very much under threat now. We haven't yet seen too much from Shearer and Ferdinand. That's Beardsley, and that's not as Manchester United would want it. Schmeichel looking beseechingly at his defenders, and Alex Ferguson looking very anxious at his team.
Well, they're making mistakes. Gary Pallister, very uncharacteristic, playing, well, not great balls into areas where they've just been cut out at the moment.
Cantona. Free kick against him. No attempts at goal from Alan Shearer, but you can just hear what he would say to any comments about that. Correct. Doesn't matter who scores the goals as long as we win the game. His majesty is matched by his modesty. Ferdinand with one effort, that was of course a threatening one. Dennis Irwin just getting a piece of it, whistle behind for a corner.
It's funny though, 2-0 up, man. It's here that I think Newcastle proves to teams now, proves to say so-called the doubters that Kevin calls them, that they can go on and win the match. I think 2-0 up for Manchester United. Pretty much everybody would be saying match over. I think 2-0 up for Newcastle. When we look at the recent game against Aston Villa, when there were 2 goals up at half-time, suggests maybe not match over. And you can imagine from their own sake how if they were to let this slip now at 2-0 up, having done so much in the opening half hour, what that might do to them. But on the other hand, if they can hold out and even increase it and go on and win the match, well, what a boost it would be to them.
Yes, she did a good job at playing devil's advocate there. They are in the driving seat. Here's Watson. 2 goals of very differing natures. One that just got over the line, and one that almost ripped a hole in the net. In between the Pogorski penalty appeal. Pallister. This is May. Remember, Manchester United have only lost 1 league game since New Year's Day. That New Year's Day game was at Tottenham when they conceded 4.
I think if it stays with us, I just wonder if Alex Ferguson, even this early, be thinking of changing it. But that, I mean, I just think that there might be a case at half-time for saying to Ronnie Johnson, well, we're 2 down, we need a goal. You know, we'll pull Beckham inside beside Buck, maybe bring on Cruyff and play Pogorski and Cruyff wide. I think those sort of thoughts are beginning through Alex Ferguson's mind even now, this early in the match.
Newcastle so spurred by scoring twice. First to everything at the moment, Lee. And Schmeichel in too much of a hurry to get his team going again. Lee. Shearer. Oh, it's hit the post! And it flew back into play. He's had an attempt now.
I'll tell you what, if they were admiring Ginolas, that one was even better, I think. It was certainly struck with far more power. Schmeichel saw it. It was on his side, but he couldn't get near it. I mean, this is hit with such pace and ferocity. What a strike. Probably frustration here. 37 minutes, he's thinking, I haven't had a shot at goal. Well, he has now, you're right. And what an effort.
Schmeichel, who was in the firing line in the first half in March, and survived. He hasn't survived. And it's a revenge mission for Newcastle United. Beardsley. Trying to find a moment to tell you what's coming up next week on Sky Sports, but the cut and thrust preventing that.
Check your listings.
Here we go. Coca-Cola Cup football, north and south of the border. 2 of Alex Ferguson's former clubs when he was a player. Dunfermline and Rangers, that's the semi-final. On Tuesday we start at 7. On the Sky Sports 1. It's Sky Sports 3 on Wednesday. Leeds United against Aston Villa, the Coca-Cola Cup tie with a real ring of last season about it. And Beardsley and Alba, even when there is a potential for individual errors, team confusion there, breaking Newcastle's way.
Peter Beardsley's done well in many respects, just for his discipline. First half, he's held that central midfield role. Hardly got forward at all. He's always been like there and available. Always looking to prompt.
And always prepared to apologise when a pass is misplaced and prepared to chase and try and win the ball back, but it's Beckham for Manchester United. They've been very dented in this first half, but whether they've been damaged as far as this match is concerned beyond repair, we shall see. Pawlowski. That's Butt saying that he's still feeling very positive. Still Butt, Senichek has come. And just passes it out into space, and Ginola is really looking like the player that he was when he first came to Newcastle. It's been a while, I think, they feel in these bouts, since he's put on the sort of performance we've seen from him in the 40 minutes when he's been back in the team today.
I think David Batty will feel a little bit relieved that last attack. Really casual in the middle, just outside his own box. Wanted too much time. Nicky Butt wasn't giving him that.
Peacock was raising an arm for an offside that was never going to be given. Little sign of lack of order then. Watson again defending with depth, but as in the earlier incident a few minutes ago, if he does that and he gets the ball, it's fine.
You make decisions, yeah.
Owen. Good contest there with Batty. I'm not so sure about the second one. Butt wasn't so sure about it, and it's all going on between the two now.
Well, I think it all depends on what the referee actually saw. They certainly had a go at each other. I think Nicky Butt took exception to Batty's challenge. It'll be a pity for the game if it's anything other than yellow cards each.
It's yellow for Batty. Butt, who certainly felt aggrieved, he gets yellow as well.
Well, you can see Nicky Butt's in the ground and Batty comes in. Forceful, wins the ball. There's a tangle of legs. They're all looking to have a little niggle at each other. He's got a little out of hand.
Yes, well, I think Butt felt that Batty wasn't with that leading foot looking totally for the ball. But that's how those two really earn their livings, going in for tackles and serving their side in the footballing engine room.
Yeah, you're not going to get one of those two pulling out.
But it, I think, showed the undercurrent of tension that this fixture brings. Cantona. Ferdinand. That's another useful ball from Ginola. Well, you can imagine that Alex Ferguson just wants to get into that dressing room at half-time and do what he can to sort things out.
That's right, you get games like that. Certainly Kevin Keegan would just like the 90 minutes to continue. Play it in one hit.
What would happen if Manchester United could grab a goal before half-time? Didn't quite do it like that. Manchester United have had the ball. We talked early in the half, Andy, about Ginola being allowed to stray and not being expected to defend too much. It's been profitable for Newcastle, and Manchester United haven't taken advantage of that space on the right. Any devastating effect as yet.
I think the words as yet are pretty apt. I just don't think we can give them as much space as they're getting. It's not clear penalty.
Beckham able to cross it in without a challenge. Rob Lee keeping his arms firmly down by his side there.
And that would be the only thing I think Kevin would be worried about, would be the amount of space that Gary Neville's had.
Nelson Solskjaer with a back heel. Remember, one of those came off in Fenerbahce on Wednesday. He was involved in both the Manchester United goals. Free kick earned by Solskjaer. Maybe a little concern for Kevin Keegan here. Some smiles will be wiped off Newcastle faces. Manchester United can maximise this situation in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Beckham. Cernicek, the goalkeeper, who's had to live with a week of some criticism. But he's got through with his goal still intact. Darren Peacock will be credited with the opening goal for Newcastle. A decision of fine margins, but it seems in the end a fine decision by the officials. And look at this from our reverse angle, a beautiful view of a beautiful goal from David Ginola. The thoughts of Steve Bruce and Kenny Dalglish to come during the half-time break, and we take that break with the scoreline: Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 0.
Coming soon, 6 world title fights in one night of boxing. Judgment Night Part 1, live on Sky Sports 2.
Then, live from Las Vegas on Sky Box Office, the pay-per-view event, Judgment Night Part 2. 3 world heavyweight titles, and topping the bill, the fight of the night. Former champion Evander Holyfield takes on mighty Iron Mike Tyson. Judgment Night is coming.
Sky subscribers can see Judgment Night Part 2 from Las Vegas live and a selection of repeat screenings by ordering now on 0990 800 800. Order early to receive a £5 discount. Cable viewers order through your local operator.
My first real kiss?
Yeah.
I remember thinking,
Those first few seconds.
I didn't want it to end.
Was I stunned yet again?
It's a tad scary.
It's more than just the lips or tongue.
It's ecstasy.
It's who you're with, where you are.
Well worth the wait.
I felt all kind of tingly and...
I remember thinking, bullseye. The buzz going everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought I'd never get over it.
It's one of those things you get better at all the time.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty good at it.
Did you never forget your first kiss?
Within 2 years, we'd doubled turnover and trebled customer base.
I was concerned that Wren would lose contact with the customer.
We certainly had no adverse comment from the customer.
We now feel extremely confident. We've got great confidence in Alex Lorry. The sales-linked financing is able to concentrate on putting our energies in the right direction.
I can put my mind to selling instead of chasing invoices.
So it means the management of cash is very simple.
Tailored finance for growth from Alex Lorry. Call 0800 55 0022.
Hello, Tel.
I'll push off, Roy. It's confidential.
New striker, is it?
Is Alex there?
A 5-minute daytime weekday call from Portsmouth to Manchester used to cost 49p.
Tell him it's Terry.
But from October the 8th, thanks to BT's 10% cut on national daytime calls, it's down to 44p.
Terry Venables.
And with BT's business discounts, you can lock another 27% off that.
I'll hang on.
Ring 0800 800 800 for your savings checkup. He makes a lot of long calls.
Sensitive skin? Big Twin Select. The razor for sensitive men.
It's the #1 rap album. 40 kicking cuts, including Tupac, Warren G and Coolio. Keeping it real with the Far Side and the Loonies. Chuck D, House of Pain, and LL Cool J. The coolest album on the streets. It's the #1 rap album out now.
What a half. Coming up later from Sky Sports, Houston against Pittsburgh, that's NFL at 9 o'clock. Right now, it's St James's Park, Newcastle United against Manchester United. 2-0 to Newcastle. Manchester United with a lot to do from this point. 7 attempts, Newcastle, 2 on target. Now they've scored with both of them. 5 attempts from Manchester United, 1 on target. Just 3 corners. Already 4 in the book. Notably Batty and Butts as half-time approached. Action areas first half. Newcastle United have won that battle, and they've had the better of the possession as well. 52%. Ball in play, very healthy. 35, nearly 36 minutes. The winners of this game today will go top. We know that for certain because Liverpool's game against Everton at Anfield today was rained off. Too much surface water. And I have to confess to you that we too have had problem with the rain here, and at the moment have no ability to be able to look back on that first half. But, I mean, lots to talk about with Steve Bruce and Kenny Dalglish here. What did we make of that first half, Kenny?
I think Newcastle United have done very well. Obviously, they went out, put them under pressure right away. They've had a couple of goals. Withstood what I think was a decent penalty decision against them. They've defended well. They've made it difficult for Manchester United. They've closed them up well and hit them well in the break. They have done to Manchester United, but Manchester United have done to an awful lot of other teams in England.
We've seen it once or twice in that first half. The ball now does appear to be over the line, but it's taken some very good technical equipment for that to be proved to be the case. Were the officials right to give it? I mean, presumably as a result of the evidence, yes, but...
The referee hasn't given it, has he? The linesman's given it.
No, you're right. He has confirmed that for us. Steve Dunn said he didn't see it. The linesman did give it, that's right.
The linesman's been proved to be correct. But, I mean, even seen the replays yourself, and here you couldn't judge it. He's standing, he's got a goal post and a guy's body between him and the ball, and he's given it as a goal. I mean, OK, he's been proved to be right, but I don't think he's in a position to give it as instantaneously as what he did. But he's been proved to be right, the fella.
Is this likely to be, or so far it has been, could this turn out to be just one of those days for Manchester United, Steve?
Well, it certainly looks like it. When you get a decision like that in a big game like this, you don't need decisions like that where a linesman gives it 60 yards away, and if it's an inch over the line, he must have unbelievable eyesight. I mean, we've tried it now 15 times to have a look, and we couldn't decide until the last shot. And then the other end up, how he doesn't give the penalty. You just look at yourself and think, well, is it going to be one of them?
I think you both agreed on that. You would have given a penalty there, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, it was a Stonewall penalty, yeah, without any question.
OK, I think we're getting back into gear. We've dried out the equipment. Let's have a look at this. This, I think, is the penalty, isn't it? No doubt.
It's a little bit dramatic, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's put it round about the keeper. The keeper's missed it. They're unlucky not to be getting it. And although they say referees aren't influenced by where the game's being played, I think if he'd have been at home, I think they'd have got that.
But no doubts about the second goal, and Manchester United with a lot to do here. Having said that, if they score early in the second half, that might change everything.
I mean, United will never concede it yet. It would be great if they could get one back early on in the second half, and then we're in for a hell of a game. But
this is the second goal. No doubts about this, Steve, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Gary Neville will be a little bit disappointed. He should have been marked on the inside, possibly. But that's a great strike, and there's no qualms about that. That's a great finish. Great finish.
Okay,
it's a shame we don't spend much time talking about that goal and you did about the penalty.
No, that's fair. And we will do later when we've got more time. We will do later. 2-0 to Newcastle United, a piece of genius from David Ginola. The first goal of the season for Darren Peacock, and still some controversy over that. But it's a terrific game, and we are lucky enough to be looking forward already to another 45. Coming up next.
On Sky One.
Sideshow Bob!
A threat to the Simpsons' way of life.
Would it really be worth living in a world without television?
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
At 7 on Sky Movies, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels star in the encore presentation of Dumb and Dumber.
Who are these sick people?
Then on Sky One at 9, it's a race to recover nuclear warheads in Tom Clancy's Op Center.
Show him what happens if we fail.
That's just some of the highlights tonight on Sky.
So what's Rome like?
Everyone kisses.
Hmm?
Couples kiss, waiters kiss. Even the statues are at it.
Oh, do try not to join in.
The thing is, Kath, I miss you. You didn't pack my blue socks, did you?
Pack yourself next time.
How's it there?
That feels funny. Too, tidy. How's work?
They're terrible. They like me. They want me to stay another week.
Oh. Oh, that's great.
I'm in the most romantic city in the world. And you're not with me.
Yes, I am.
With Cellnet, you can make and receive calls in over 50 countries around the world. That's more than any other UK network.
In all the years he's been coming here, your granddad's never won a prize at talent night. Like the Murphys, he's not bitter.
Thanks to a widget, you can now get Murphy's Draft in bottles.
Shampoo specially designed for men. Brill cream was good enough for his granddad. And Jack's just as sensible. Oh, for hair and scalp. With protein. That should keep him fit. And with a healthy-looking mop of hair, he might even start courting.
New Brill Cream Shampoo, made for men.
Now, available to buy on video.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
7.
What if technology was capable of loving? Thomson, the innovator in digital technology, offers you a new relationship with TV and video products. A living relationship with objects that love you. Thomson, from technology to love.
I've practiced the overhead flick all weekend to beat Okuna-san at Sega Worldwide Soccer 97. Sunday, 10 p.m, I did it. Now in Japan, the overhead flip is old news. But UK, good luck. You'll need it.
An unbeatable Coca-Cola Cup double from both sides of the border. In England, it's a repeat of last season's final, Leeds v Aston Villa. And in Scotland, it's semi-final time as Dunfermline take on the might of Rangers. With all four clubs looking for silverware, the drama and action will be fast and furious. Exclusively live cup football, Dunfermline v Rangers and Leeds v Aston Villa. Tuesday and Wednesday on Sky Sports 1 and 3.
You can see Richie Woodall's bid for the WBC World Middleweight title tonight on Sky Sports 2 at 7 o'clock. Right now it's St James's Park, Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 0. Steve Dunn, the referee, we have had another word with. He says, in his opinion, Karol Poborski ran into Pavel Srnicek, which is the reason he did not give that penalty. Manchester United, as you will imagine, are not happy about the way that the game has gone so far. And that might be something of an understatement. Kenny Dalglish and Steve Bruce, our guests here. Steve, you were saying one goal early for Manchester United, and this game could swing, you feel?
Yeah, I think if United can score in the first 10-15 minutes, then we're in for a hell of a game. It would be a great spectacle if they did do that, and let's hope they do.
Well, they're up for it and ready. They're back. Newcastle United aren't yet. Do you think they're out of this yet, Kenny?
No, I don't think Manchester United are ever out of it until it's a lot later on in the game than what it is at the moment. They must have had a flea in their ear because they've been out a good 2 minutes before Manchester United came out there. Newcastle United came out. But I think they've got so many good players in their team that they're always liable to come back. And if they get a goal, then they'll be pushing forward even stronger.
At Tynecastle, incidentally, today, Hearts 2, Celtic 2, so they miss out on the chance to go top of the Scottish Premier. Right now, let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, Richard, it looks as though it's Newcastle heading towards the top of the English Premier. But there's still 45 minutes for Manchester United, whether fueled by their own ability or by apparent senses of injustice, although I have to tell you Andy Gray believes the referee was absolutely right on the penalty incident.
Yeah, I had the same opinion of him. I thought he made a bit more of it, and he did go into the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper take him out. But isn't that what's good about football? It's all about opinions.
And at the moment here it's all about Newcastle 2, Manchester United 0. Pallister. Poborski. Seriously nipping back in. Let's get a word from Nick Collins.
Martin, all the players, needless to say, really wanted to know about the goal. Peter Schmeichel was the first to inquire whether it was over or not. In fact, just about the only player who didn't ask was Darren Peacock. Kevin Keegan summed it up. He said, try and take it away from us now.
Absolutely. But he's reached it.
I think he's been brilliant for Manchester United, Martin Nicky Butt, first half. I think he's been their exceptional player. I think he really has kept them going. And it's just typical as well. Early in the match, trying to get back into the game. Good, forceful run.
Poborski will take the corner. Solskjaer, who's been finding goals easy to come by in home games, is now needing to produce that touch if Manchester United can do anything here at St James's Park. We wondered at half-time whether Alex Ferguson might change it to get David Beckham into a more central role. Hasn't happened as yet. Ronnie Johnson, the holding midfield player, is still out there. Beckham is sacrificing his own personal preferences to do what he's told, to keep the shape for the side at the moment as the manager still wants it.
I would be surprised if we reach the hour mark, the scoreline at 2-0, that Alex Ferguson doesn't make a change then.
So a lot of slipping and sliding going on in this very wet afternoon up on Tyneside. But happily a match to bring you, unlike the problems on Merseyside today. The pitch is too wet for the Merseyside derby. Shearer, Ginola. Schmeichel's out again because it's not the throw that Newcastle were expecting. It's an offside decision. And here's Gary Pallister. Pallister again. Cantona. Newcastle continuing to try and press and maintain their work rate. Stop Manchester United really moving into a period in the match when they might be in control in midfield. That hardly ever happened in the first half. Johnson. Good play from team pressure forced the mistake.
That's better. Well organised, good organisation, good play. Making it really difficult for Manchester United.
Cantona did well to find Becker. Well, Sonicek saved from Poborski. Cantona! And the goalkeeper's finally got it, and more evidence to feel that this day is going to go Newcastle's way.
Sonicek and then either Watson or Peacock who really got back on the line, and really what an important decision that is for the defender. Cantona must have felt sure he'd got his side back in the game. A great ball from Beckham.
Neville going ahead of the ball, which went to the feet of Butt. Manchester United fans will feel this is more like their team.
Well, watch this ball, it's a great ball. We've got 3 against 2. Poborski heads down, and then Cantona thinks, well, I'll just drill that into the far side, and Watson's back on the line. Left foot, an important stop.
Poborski's caught. Johnson. And it's Steve Watson again getting the applause. It certainly looked for a second as though Cantona was going to find the same corner of the net as he did here in March. Poborski. Gary Neville. Cantona. Poborski's had to check his run to stay onside. Neville made a good move into the central striking position. Certainly prepared to take the risk or two that they need to unhinge a defence which isn't known as being the most solid around, especially for a top side.
Yeah, they do take a chance, and they will take a chance with Gary Neville and Dennis Irwin, but they still won't overcommit, Martin. They'll never throw too many men forward. Even with Neville that far forward, they still had 3 against 2 at the back.
I only think, counting the Charity Shield, Newcastle 13 games, they've conceded 19 goals already this season before today. So they won't feel totally full of belief in their ability to shut Manchester United out, particularly Ferguson's team just starting to play with more assertion. Too much here from Solskjaer.
It was a little unlucky. But I just wonder if even Kevin Keegan is thinking, all right, David Ginola has done his job in many respects. Wonderful second goal, 2-0 up. But look at the space they're getting down this near side. Would there even be a thought these men are bringing in a more solid midfield player? You look at what he's got available, and Gillespie or a Clark, and maybe stringing 4 across that midfield.
Well, it's not in Kevin Keegan's nature to make a defensive change.
No, that's true, it isn't.
Free kick to Newcastle. Noticeable that Ferdinand's pulled away to jump against Irwin. He'd expect to, if the ball was a little bit better, to be well in the air against the smaller defender. Dunn's assistant on the far side has indicated the ball was out. Peacock. Pressure on Beardsley by Johnson. Nordic Cruyff jumpsuit bottoms off. Looking as though he might be the first called upon for Manchester United. Batting. Beardsley. Ferdinand. Less than 10 minutes played in the second half. Solskjaer calls Newcastle for handball. And now the crowd turn their wrath on Cantona, who they feel has overreacted. Well, it's not a lingering problem, Andy.
No, well, David Batty certainly was having a good laugh about it.
Game will restart, not with a free kick to Manchester United, but a throw. Well, it's going to be Cruyff for Solskjaer. But they want to make the change before the corner. And that's going to happen now. So the young Norwegian, who's probably ahead of expectations in his development since coming to Old Trafford, gives way to the Dutchman. Jaworski's corner. Not deep enough for Pallister. There's a good sprint between the England colleagues, Ferdinand and Beckham. Both totally committed to getting to the ball first. Watson's throw. Just finding that you just can't shrug Shearer off it that easily. Ginola isolated for a moment, but he's doing the work well himself until finally, but there's an opponent that David Ginola couldn't get past. Beckham. Cruyff and Cantona were both running away from the ball for one over the top, but they were too premature. The flag is up.
Yeah, he just started his run a little early, Cruyff.
Oh, those near ones again, though.
I think there's far more discipline about this second half performance from the home side. I say, well, I was going to say not before time in games like this, but in saying that, I think they had to be. I think Beardsley and Batty are important second half, that central area. Robert Lee's sacrificed basically going forward at the moment. So he'll be back in that midfield area as well, making it really difficult.
Well, they're certainly keeping three in there the majority of the time. Ginola's the one who's got a bit of licence to go on, and it's a bit hard to give them the discipline to defend. There are the three: Batty, Beardsley, Lee. Furthest from the camera. That's where the defending operation of this marvellous 2-0 scenario for them is really beginning. his lead. Watson, Ferdinand, back to Lee. Ferdinand. And straight back to him by Pallister. Batting. Watson has gone on into the penalty area, has made his way back in the right sort of defensive position. Ginola. Well, he thought he got a free kick and he picked the ball up. So he's been penalised, and now Pallister, who's not normally the sort to lose his rag, went in to try and say it's our free kick, we want to get on with the game.
Well, that's where the problem arose, because when David Ginola think, I actually thought this might have been a free kick to Newcastle, the referee gave it the other way when Ginola picked the ball off the floor. And Pallister got annoyed when he didn't give him the ball back.
In trouble here for propelling Albert off the pitch.
Well, once again, it's the linesman whose flag goes up early, Martin, and then the referee blew. You just got out a shot there. There's no doubt some sort of contact was made, but the officials have to decide whether it was deliberate or not. Obviously, they say it was deliberate.
And the Cantona stare, no more, directed at Mike Ryan, who's had a very, very busy afternoon. What do you make of that, Andy?
Yeah, there was certainly contact there. It was more a gesture than anything, I feel.
So, what is that? 4 yellow cards now for Manchester United. Michael, May and Butt showing the card in the first half, and with David Batty for Newcastle. Half an hour to go. Beresford. Ginola. Melted away from Peter Beardsley of Manchester United. Beardsley's pass! Oh! As the ball dropped then for the flying Ferdinand, he really thought it was going to be 3-0.
Well, I'm not saying he should score, but Les will know he should hit the target. He's got a great position. Absolute great position for a striker. And even though the goalkeeper's flying at him, the ball is so good from Peter Beardsley. That's just begging to be put in the net. It's certainly begging to hit the target. And if he hits the target, then he scores. Here, Kevin, great ball, he should be saying there. Mouthing great ball. It was a great ball from Beardsley. And that would have put the game, I feel, beyond Manchester United.
It was 14 years ago that Peter Beardsley joined Manchester United for a brief spell, about 6 months, just one appearance in a League Cup tie in the senior team. It's been said so often there were plenty of established players around to bar his progress. He's rationed himself as an attacking force from midfield. Been playing the position, holding the shape, but he got the ball then with extra room and he made full use of it. It was a terrifically clipped pass with great precision. Batting, dispossessing Cantona. And trip again for Newcastle. Beardsley gets it back from Lee. Finds Ferdinand. Here's Shearer. Not the favourite of the Manchester United fans. Ferdinand off the bar and in!
the most difficult header. And that is Shearer. Look at Shearer. That is game-setting match. He's over to the Manchester United fans. They were giving him stick when he had the ball in that corner there. But look at the way, yet again, from, well, how does he work the ball in from there? I mean, Stanley Matthews at his best couldn't do that. Shearer's a centre-forward, but somehow he fashions out a cross of real quality. And that is a soaring header from Ferdinand. He gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance. Back across from where it came from, underside of the bar. And this time Kevin can celebrate. This time Les doesn't let him down.
In the 18th minute of the second half, Ferdinand's 10th goal of the season. And who needs midfield players getting forward into the box when you've got Shearer and Ferdinand doing it and working it together?
Well, that's a little thought I've had as well. Lots of times, Martin, if you've got two people who can win you games like Shearer and Ferdinand, you don't have to overcommit from midfield. You can be a little bit cautious. And I think the second half today is a perfect example of that, with Beardsley, who normally would play in the hole or would be getting forward into the box, has been so disciplined. Alongside Batty, they've basically had two holding midfield players. And Robert Lee, to be fair, hardly gone forward at all.
Well, that Charity Shield drubbing and the extent of it. And this, of course, is much more meaningful in the match at Wembley. And they're one away from coming up with the perfect reply. Ginola has scored. Peacock in that crucial early incident, given the goal, and Ferdinand flying into the middle again, hoping that Lee might provide some sort of supply. But they, you feel now, don't need too much more, except they're being driven on by the indignation that they felt in previous matches against Manchester United. The fact that they've not done themselves justice. At times they've been unlucky. Well, they've had key things go their way. What about the third goal? On another day it might have hit the underside of the bar and stayed out. Here's Beckham.
Well, this place is really jumping. They're really singing in the rain, aren't they?
But maybe not now, because it's a Cantona. Didn't come quick enough for him. Well played for Newcastle by Peacock.
That's good defending. Never got worried or anxious when Cantona was round the back of him. Kept his eye on the ball.
Ferdinand shows just caught. You know, Alan Shearer must be to the forefront in the voting for European Footballer of the Year. That happens at the end of 1996. There'll be some changes here for Manchester United. Leclerc's on, Scholes is off. Scholes is on, rather. All dropping and changing.
There's a few coming on now.
Ronnie Johnson and Podborski have gone off. Well, I've waited a long time for this kind of situation against this particular opponent.
And I think it might mentally even prove to Newcastle that you can win games, Martin, and win games well, without being so cavalier all the time. Sometimes in a match, as they've done, they've conserved energy second half. They've played with great discipline, good organisation, and they've extended the lead and haven't conceded.
And now they're almost they're matching the standards of Wimbledon. 7 wins in a row. Well, he granted on beautifully, but only after easing Irwin out of the way, unfairly in the mind of Steve Dunn. Peter Schmeichel wanting to come up, but he's got as far as the halfway line. Becker. Safe enough from Philippe Albert for Newcastle United. Miscontrolled initially by Cantona. The Newcastle fans and some of the Newcastle players believe that Cantona was culpable after that. Remember, he's already been booked. And now he's comprehensively taken out of the play, and there was no free kick going to be given for that. The ball's gone out for treatment for Peter Beardsley, on whose behalf Alan Shearer was leading the calls for Cantona to be sent off.
Well, they're all incensed with Cantona. No one had quite control of this ball. Both are sprinting towards it. Both jump in. That right leg of Cantona is a bit wayward, in my opinion. Too wayward to be going to the ball. And I think that's what incensed the likes of Shearer and Ferdinand. It's a frustrating day for Eric Cantona and co.
Yes, perhaps it's the biggest test that he's had of his supposedly changed temperament. And certainly last year he kept everything brilliantly under control, got a lot of praise for that. And the ball was put out. Newcastle, on another occasion, might have expected to get the ball back. Manchester United want a goal back. Scholes. That was Beresford in the nick of time for Newcastle.
Well, everything Newcastle do is going to be making rapturous applause from now on. Any tackle won, any throw-in won, any corner won. There's a huge cheer from this crowd.
This is Butt. Come a long way. Scholes coming in. Taken up a great position. Well, that's and it hit Steve Watson. I suppose you could say he took up a great position as well.
Yeah, hit him in the back of the head, I think, didn't it? But yeah, and you're lucky football. I'm a firm believer of that, Martin. You work hard and you graft hard, you put it in. And sometimes you earn that little bit of luck and good fortune. It swings big games like this. There's no doubt an awful lot hinged in that opening goal. And there'll be much debate after the final whistle goes about it. But since then, well, you just have to admire, I think, what Newcastle have done, the way they've played, the way they've gone about this.
Leclerc, that's Beardsley. That's offside. Coming up for you on Sky Sports from the respective Coca-Cola Cups in Scotland. Rangers still top of the Premier Division. After Celtic only drew today, they play their semi-final against Dunfermline. That's on Tuesday, live on Sky Sports 1. Leeds United against Aston Villa, Sky Sports 3 from the Coca-Cola Cup in England on Wednesday.
And don't forget, after that, Martin, coming up on Sky Sports is Judgment Night, Saturday, November the 9th. A big fight extravaganza, including Holyfield against Tyson. I know I'll be tuned in, I hope you will. All the information will come up after this game.
Well, the Newcastle fans will be saying this is Judgment Day here, but it's a bit early in the season for those sort of conclusions to be drawn.
See what I mean? Every pass been greeted with.
But Cantona. And they're hoisting it away from Leclerc.
You know, it's even little moments like that, Martin, that suggest they make this slight change. I've seen the times when Philippe Albert would have pulled that out the air, tried to pick a pass out, tried to do something fancy. Didn't enter his head then. He got it down and hooked it back over his shoulder to safety.
Right. Here's Gary Neville. And the corner has been given again, the eagle-eyed assistant referee, but Cernicek refusing not to be beaten on his near post.
Lovely running ball.
Oh, what an important... it was green grass for Ginola if he'd have got the first touch in then. And Owen put it out. Beresford, he can switch the play. Owen is in a lot of room on the right. It was never needed to pass with that ambition in truth. And Newcastle come towards the last 15 minutes. 3-0 in front. Shearer, I mentioned that European Footballer of the Year honour that might come his way. Scholes, the last Englishman to be voted to that prestigious position, was a certain Kevin Keegan. Great vision from Shearer. Beardsley. Oh, and it's another one. No, yes, Shearer, of course. The script is complete for Newcastle United.
And it started and finished with that man there, Alan Shearer. He was available to receive the ball through. Held up by David May, but released a great crossfield pass to Beardsley. And then didn't hang about wide. He's thinking there might be a goal on here. Schmeichel performs heroics. Not once. With this shot, look at the way Beardsley hits it round Irwin. But twice there. The Shearer, well. It didn't take him long. It was mentioned he hadn't scored. 2 minutes later. Well, that's it put right. Same team, same scoreline. Different way around.
And of course a different venue. We were from the, I suppose, the hostility of Turkey. Manchester United's thin, home-based hostility here at St James's Park, and Newcastle absolutely delighting the tsunami, but not only that, sending out their own message around the rest of the country. But when the big games come around, they can be more than a match for the best. They've certainly been the best today. For all the arguments over the way it got off on the wrong foot for Manchester United. And it's not over yet. Well, Ferdinand was trying to come across in front of May, and the ball passed in the end between May and Schmeichel.
Nice little interplay. And this is a decent ball. Les Ferdinand opts to go in front of David May. That's the choices you have to make when you're playing up there, whether you hold the back post, whether you nick in front. He opted to go in front of May. Good run, just the ball didn't quite reach him.
Well, it's why Andy Gray has given up predicting the man of the match and allow you much respected viewers to make the decision for him. I think it'll be a Newcastle player. 0891 11 11 01.
What makes you say that?
So Shearer keeps his run going, scoring in every home Premiership game since he joined his beloved Newcastle United. Cantona. Actually pretty small beer after, what, 5 matches last season with Blackburn. I'm sure Kenny Dalglish would remind us. He scored in every home league game until February. So Newcastle, I think, have got maybe a bit more to look forward to. Price. A lot to Cernicek to keep a clean sheet today.
I think along the whole team. I was just thinking maybe now there's enough daylight between the two teams on the scoreline for Kevin just to say to one or two players now, like Peter Beardsley, Robert Lee, if you want to get forward, then do so now. We're 4-0 up. And I just wonder if tempering that might be the fact that we'd like to keep a clean sheet as well.
Yes, of course, they scored 4 goals the last time we were here against Aston Villa, and we're really hanging on.
That's better. There's another little example. John Beresford, often I've seen Martin pushed up ahead of the centre-backs when balls come in from that side. This time he's got a classic position that you'd want your full-back to be.
Scholes. Can't change the symmetry on the scoreline vis-a-vis the Charity Shield. Well, they're remembering they're still the entertainers. But with a more steely streak to their work on the evidence of this match. Manchester United might say an important moment's a lucky streak.
A great twist for him to inflict the biggest defeat on Manchester United since the Premier League started, Martin. Well, then centre-back is now to keep a clean sheet.
Beardsley. Well, it's gone. It's a goal kick, and Schmeichel still shouting at referee Steve Dunn.
Well, here we go, this is the ball. Look, he cuts inside, and that's a wonderful ball to Beardsley. But doesn't hang about there. That's an example of someone who wants to score goals, because when it drops down, he's made up 30, 40 yards infield, and gets himself a tap in.
Leclerc. Scholes holding on the right, found by Cantona. Price. Swallowed up by Cernicek again.
Well, just one or two openings, but most of the headers, to be fair to Newcastle, have come from wide of the width of the goal. They've been about the far end of the 6-yard box. Always a difficult header from there, never easy. Zaborski had one, Cantonas had one, and now Kroos had one. When you think it's 4-0, Martin, unless Ferdinand will probably think, wait a minute, I could have had a hat-trick. The diving header he missed, and then the chance before Shearer knocked in the rebound, he would probably think I should have scored.
Here is Shearer, marauding again. Ferdinand. Only Shearer's gone into the penalty area. Down the midfield, nicely shaped up for Kevin Keegan. Pallister bringing it away.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Beardsley. Yeah. Ginola, who's been really in tune with the special requirements of this game right from the start. It's David Batty!
Well, that deserved a goal. It deserved a goal for the genius on the near side of David Ginola, who skipped past Gary Neville quite beautifully. And it deserved a goal for the wonderful awareness of Blaise Ferdinand with a lovely cushion header. And it deserved a goal for Batty's run. Look at this, watch him come into the picture. And he's only just out.
Ginola. Beardsley. Well, there could be a fifth in the offing. Lee, on a day when Newcastle would have taken 1-0. Here they are, looking for number 5. With Philippe Albert. Oh! Absolutely glorious!
Well, if the rest was the cake, there is the icing. A quite majestic goal from Philippe Albert. No one pressurised him. We didn't need an invitation. Look at Manchester United. 5 strung along, 6 strung along the edge of the 18-yard box. No one presses him. Schmeichel narrows the angle. What skill, what vision. What a day for Newcastle United.
Well, since they've come back to the top level, they have never had a day like this. Here's Butt. With the never say die approach. That's his hallmark. But Manchester United being absolutely cut apart. Jordi Cruyff. 5 goals, 5 different scorers. You have to really pinch yourself to believe that it's happened.
Hey, you don't have to pinch anyone on this ground that's watching it. All these Newcastle supporters know what's happening. The ones who are stunned are in the far corner. The Manchester United supporters.
Are you telling me the Newcastle fans expected a 5-0?
They didn't expect it. They dreamt it, Martin, they dreamt it. There the hands up, 5, look.
It's the highest of high fives.
And the ones who aren't showing anything up there, that's where the Manchester United fans are. They can't believe this is happening. As we said right at the beginning, it's never going to win you the championship today. But it's a day they'll not forget here for quite some time.
It's a shame you only get 3 points for it. But Albert, who's been content to do his part defensively, suddenly got back to the cavalier ways, and yet when defending was required, he was there. And again. Ginola, who struck the second, which you would have thought would have been the cream of the crop, but Albert would argue with that.
Well, they haven't lost 5 many times, Manchester United, but I have to say that I did play in a game at Goodison in '84 when Everton beat Manchester United 5-1, I think it was, on the day, or 5-0 on the day, so I bet that hasn't happened too often.
Four minutes to go. Could it even be 6? Oh.
Then we would be testing our statisticians.
I think they've been affected by the rain as well. The goals that have rained into Schmeichel's net. Well, we said at Wembley, what would it mean to Newcastle? And it took them a couple of weeks to get it out of their system. We must say now, what will this mean to Manchester United? This is a hammering. Beresford. Shearer. Beresford. Well, Manchester United are punch drunk now. Going to make a double change. Warren Barton, who's been out of the first-team frame in the Premiership for a good while now, comes on for Steve Watson, who's been keeping him out at right-back. And Lee Clark gets a taste of this wonderful day for Newcastle, for Rod Lee, who's played a major part, as everyone... Keegan, first to acknowledge that. In most instances, the finishing has been of a very high order. But almost as much as the goals, Andy, the general shape of Newcastle's play is a memory to take away from this extraordinary episode on Tyneside.
I would suggest that this is a video that's kept very much up at Newcastle's training ground, Martin. And if Kevin Keegan needs to make a point to any of his players who might think, well, we've forgotten what's required to win these sort of games, to sit them down and show them and say, listen lads, this is how we do it. This is the kind of shape you have. And the one thing that they've done, that maybe I've said they didn't do against the likes of Villa when we were here last, was control the game when they were ahead. They actually controlled the game when they were ahead, and that's been the difference today.
Scholes. It's a noble try from Jordi Cruyff. It was useful in the air. Seems rude to interrupt the Newcastle fans as they shout the team towards the final whistle. Just need to butt in to give you that phone number again. 0891 111101. The number the Newcastle fans will be shouting for a long time is 50. Unless it becomes 6-0 in the stoppage time that remains.
I think you should just give them a champagne and stick it in the dressing room. I think that's the best way. I tell you what, it's hard to pick someone in a black and white shirt who hasn't done his job.
Yes. Alan Shearer will share the acclaim with all the others in black and white. Been a Merseyside derby to share the spotlight today because of the weather. It's all eyes on Newcastle and all eyes on Newcastle United. Homage being paid by an interloper in truth to King Kevin. We better ask for an overrun for Kevin's after-match interview. Might go on for a while. Then we've got all the team to talk to as well. Scholes booked, can't complain. Angry on Manchester United's behalf.
It's frustration, isn't it?
Ferdinand. Barton's cross. Another 5 against Manchester United today, 5 yellow cards. What a day to remember from Newcastle United. Manchester United's biggest defeat for 12 years, the last unbeaten record in this season's Premiership well and truly ended. Newcastle's first ever Premiership win over the club which ruined their Championship ambitions last season. And to top it off, of course, it takes them emphatically back to the top of the league. Philippe Albert with the most apt finale. They've beaten Peter Schmeichel every which way today, a goalkeeper who's been impassable in matches recently against Newcastle, but 5 times, controversially with Peacock, brilliantly by Ginola. Ferdinand chipped in. Shearer was there, of course, to make a mark on the scoreline. jubilation at St James's. They'll feel that all scores have been settled here, but I suppose that will only truly be the case, Andy, if there's silverware at the expense of Manchester United at the end of the season.
You can bet your life, that's the truth, Martin. 5-0 will be long forgotten if once again it's Manchester United 1, Newcastle 2 at the end of the season.
Well, Newcastle fans were in despair last May, and indeed after the Charity Shield 10 weeks ago. But for now, this will do very nicely indeed. Newcastle United 5, Manchester United 0.